A very warm welcome to the first weekly intelligence briefing. I have it from one source, a very reliable source, A1, I'd class them, that the Americans knew that there was a terrorist attack coming. And they knew that it was the Dusit Hotel which was going to be hit. And people were cautioned, although this was done in a very cautious way. For instance, they were not told what is coming. Well, as they say, the Americans know a lot of things. The intelligence is spread right across the world. They cooperate with some of the other very good intelligence services, the best in the world. So they know a lot of things. They have, of course, been taken by surprise in the past. But the truth is, in recent times, it seemed they pulled up their socks. In recent times, they are very, very rarely taken by surprise, if at all. So to many, the Americans knowing may not be such a big deal. The big deal is Kenya. Did Kenya know that there's a terrorist attack coming? Did the Kenyan government know? Now, before I answer that question, let's look at what happened at Westgate, the Westgate Mall, slightly over 5 years ago. There was a leak, especially online, which many people didn't take seriously, of somebody claiming that the Kenyan government actually instigated and facilitated the attack on Westgate. And to make that story even more confusing, it is believed that the leak was instigated and facilitated by elements of the Al-Shabaab terror group. Now that gets very confusing. You work together on something and then one side leaked. Why? What does working together even mean? Now, if you watch espionage movies, you will have noticed that there are times when a government gives their own intelligence officer permission. In fact, they give them a mission to deliver classified information to the enemy. These operatives, enemy combatants, they know each other. So the information is delivered and the two enemies work together on a single project. They are still enemies, yes, but they work together on a certain project against a common enemy or for a common objective. Now, in real life, that happens all the time, because authors, writers, and even people who make movies do research. And they research on real life many times, when they're producing their books or movies. So the important thing here to look at is what was the objective? What did Kenya have to gain from Westgate? Well, at that time, the Al-Shabaab terror group was fast rising, and the Americans were still not taking it seriously enough. And Kenyans were almost being overrun by these terrorists. And more importantly, this lack of interest in Washington was endangering our troops remaining in Somalia, which was very important, still is very important to the Kenyan government. And so the objective was to change all that. And looking back, you will agree with me, Westgate changed all that. Now currently, the big challenge, the big threat to national security in Kenya is the fact that the government is technically bankrupt. Now let me put it this way. You get a man, a rich man, who doesn't want to part with his money, and maybe you're doing business, and you try everything, you just can't get business from this rich man. However, just touch on his security, prove to him that there's a certain security threat. Somebody is going to rob him, somebody is going to attack his family, etc., etc. Money will come out of his pocket so fast you won't believe. In the same way, the Western world takes their security very seriously, much more seriously than many African countries. Even President Donald Trump of the US, with his unprecedented policies, understands and will respond to security matters very fast. So there you are, a very strong motive. Now the other clue that the Kenyan government knew were the rumors which have been linked to the Americans, which I've already told you yeah, according to a reliable source, is true. The Americans knew. The long and short of what I'm saying is that even if the Kenyan government, yeah, did not lend a hand, yeah, to this terrorist attack, yeah, assuming that that is not true, they would still have known from the Americans. Why? Because the Americans and the Kenyans work very closely on security matters in the region, especially on matters that have to do with the Al-Shabaab security threat. Because it is a direct threat to the citizens of the United States based in Kenya. So if Kenya is the left hand, yeah, of the same body, and America is the right hand of the same body of a human being, they will always work very closely together. However, there are times when the left hand will not know what the right hand is doing, and when the right hand will not know what the left hand is doing. At least that will be the intention of the hand in question at any one time. However, the really scary thing that I want to reveal in this security briefing is that there's another terrorist attack coming. This particular one was only a rehearsal. Yeah. So the next one we expect is going to be very big. And by big I mean it's going to be very big in terms of the number of casualties. Or it will be big in terms of the particular target selected. Yeah. You'll remember there was a time when the courts were targeted. Yeah, but that attack was foiled. The High Court, Supreme Court, etc., etc., which would have crippled our justice system, yeah, at least for a while. So I'm talking about a personality, an institution, or an installation target, yeah, which will be big. Or rather personalities, like in the case of the courts. Yeah, we're talking about many personalities in the form of judges and magistrates and Supreme Court judges. Of course, our security chaps never receive credit for foiling attacks. Many Kenyans hear about foiled attacks, yeah, and they don't even take them seriously. Sometimes they don't even believe they actually happen. They think that this is manufactured information. It isn't, and therefore my prayer is that our security personnel will foil, yeah, that planned big attack, whatever it is. That is it for now, but of course I'll be following up with other security briefings, yeah, in the next day or so. So look out for that one. Until that time, this is Chris Kumekucha.